Progressive Democrats want a $2,000 recurring stimulus check direct to the people. Progressive Democrats propose a new $7 trillion spending bill and tell President Biden to go big and to go without Republican support. Both Republicans and Democrats want to know the true origin of COVID-19, and a new research bill has led them to ban certain research in a bipartisan way. Hello and welcome to today's May 26th Daily News Report, as well as ongoing stimulus package information video. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now so I can keep you up to date on what's going on in Washington, D.C., what's going on in the economy, and occasionally bring you some funny news. All right, now remember, don't fall for scammers that are using my picture and trying to get you to text them banking information, tax information, or investment information. Those are scammers. Also, remember that Casey and I are doing a subscriber appreciation giveaway. We're giving away over $3,000 in prizes and cash. There's going to be 10 winners of these amazing hats, and also 10 people will win $300 cash. All right, now yesterday, President Biden met with the George Floyd family in Washington, D.C. According to news reports, they had a wonderful visit and discussed police reform and other matters. President Biden said he is committed to police reform and naming it after George Floyd, but admitted he hasn't made much progress on this topic. Within the Democrat Party, there are those considered moderate Democrats and those considered progressive Democrats. The progressive side of the party sent a letter to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, essentially telling them that they are thinking too small, to quit negotiating with Republicans, to quit worrying about budgets and national debt, and to do a massive one-time $7 trillion spending bill that encompasses physical infrastructure and social infrastructure needs. Now, this $7 trillion package is $3 trillion higher than the $4 trillion package President Biden has put forward. President Biden knew that he would have a hard time getting support for a $4 trillion package, so they split it into two, the Build Back Better plan and then the stimulus package, or the American Families Plan, each right around $2 trillion. Well, now it's being proposed that instead of doing $4 trillion, they go for $7 trillion, right? This new $7 trillion spending bill was proposed by Representative Jayapal. She is the same person saying $2,000 stimulus checks to everyone every single month until the pandemic is declared over. Now, Jayapal said it's time to ditch negotiations with Republicans so that we can do the investments that we want to make as a party. However, she did not put forward any kind of plan on how the country would absorb $7 trillion in new debt, how they would spend that money, or who would pay for it through taxation. Some economists are saying the only way to cover $7 trillion would be to tax everybody, not just the wealthy or large corporations. So if this package were to gain traction or get through, it looks like taxes would have to go up for everybody in the United States. Now, Jayapal said she believes Republicans will support her overwhelmingly popular infrastructure priorities, but I guess we'll see. All right, now, my community is a pretty equal mix of Republicans and Democrats, few independents and libertarians. So I'm curious, don't mention your political affiliation in the comments, but do you support the United States spending $7 trillion and how they would pay for it through taxation? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right, now another $1,400 stimulus check, just to give some context, would only cost about $400 billion. $400 billion compared to $7 trillion is like the difference between Earth and Jupiter. It's just a massive difference, right? $7 trillion would be like spending 25% of the total national debt in place right now in 1 year. So it's a massive amount of money, right? All right, now today or tomorrow, Republicans will be presenting a new $1 trillion counteroffer coming up from about $580 billion up to $1 trillion. President Biden has come down from $2.3 trillion down to $1.7 trillion. So they are closing the gap on what is infrastructure, how to spend it. It's expected that back and forth negotiation will continue until they either find common ground or Democrats say, enough is enough. We're moving forward with whatever we think the American people will want or stand for, right? Now, Democrat lawmakers continue to push for Washington, D.C. to become the 51st state while Republicans continue to oppose it. One Democrat leader said, "How are we to expect the rest of the world to look to the United States as an example of democracy if we don't let Washington, D.C. become a state?" I am curious, do you think Washington, D.C. should become the 51st state? Or should it remain a district outside of statehood to manage and house the federal government? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. By the way, I just want to say thank you guys so much for giving these videos a like. I really appreciate it. And I love bringing my community the news. So I hope you get a lot out of these videos. All right, now yesterday I told you that Senator Warren wants to increase the IRS budget to about $31 billion. Last week, I told you how President Biden wants to increase the IRS budget to about $80 billion and hire just over 80,000 new IRS agents. However, something doesn't seem to be adding up. Biden has said that he wouldn't raise taxes on anyone making $400,000 a year or less, but wants to hire 87,000 new IRS agents to perform more audits. However, the IRS has openly admitted that they audit people that make $50,000 or less more than any other group. So although your taxes might not increase, being pestered and audited by the IRS may increase, right? Wouldn't it be nice if they would just get our tax refunds back to us, right? I know many of you in the community have said, "Stephen, do you have any kind of secret phone number or backdoor for getting through to the IRS? I've been waiting on my tax refund." And sadly, my answer is no. Just know that they are very, very far behind. All right, now yesterday I asked if you thought the IRS should be able to spy on our bank accounts like Senator Warren has proposed, and you guys overwhelmingly said no. So that was interesting to hear from the community. Now, new information is coming out about how COVID could have come from a lab. At first, this was laughed off, and we were told it came from bats in the wet market in China. However, Senate committees have continued to investigate and call for deeper investigations into the origin, and this is coming from Republicans and Democrats. Now, according to Senator Rand Paul, scientists have been trying to give COVID to bats and other animals with no measurable success, which is leading some to believe it didn't come from bats if it's not, the infection rate is not happening in bats and the transfer of infection is not happening among bats and other mammals. So this is calling into question the origins of this story. Now, however, there is something called gain of function research, which was banned many years ago. Basically, scientists can take a virus and amp it up, right? They can increase the gain of its function. Well, the only function of a virus is to infect and deliver data, right? That's all it does. So these scientists were making viruses significantly more damaging and significantly more infectious. Yesterday, Senator Rand Paul and Republicans and Democrats alike worked together to further ban gain of function research. And part of the bill was to make sure that no US dollars are given to Chinese scientists who are performing gain of function research. I believe one day the truth of the origins of COVID-19 will come out, but we'll see. But it was nice to see both parties working together to say, hey, listen, we need to figure out where this came from and make sure it never happens again. All right, now, as I wrap up, I just want to remind you that 80 members of Congress continue to urge President Biden for a fourth stimulus check of some level, whether that's a $600 stimulus check, $1,200, $1,400, $2,000 ongoing, $2,000 down, $1,000, some kind of stimulus check, right? However, the White House has yet to respond. In order to get President Biden's attention, a group sent a letter to him listing all of the reasons that this would help the American family and also help lift people out of poverty. Again, the White House has not responded, but that letter just went out not too long ago. All right, now this is my update for today. As I know more, I will definitely come on and share more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. There's a lot going on in Washington, D.C. among lawmakers right now. Good, bad, crazy, depending on your point of view, right? So let me know your thoughts on that. And I'll let you know my thoughts. I just want to remind you that you are amazing. I really, truly believe that. Never link your self-worth to the government or policy. Just go out there, do your very best, know that you're amazing, okay? Now, before you go, make sure to check out that giveaway where Casey and I are giving away over $3,000 in prizes and cash, just to say thank you. We also know that there are people in the community still struggling. All right, I just want to thank you for being a subscribed member of my community, and I'll see you on the next video.